Hello everyone and welcome. So today we're going to go over the brand new 2022 Nissan Frontier. So for anyone who hasn't paid attention, this truck has not been redesigned in quite some time. So we'll be taking a look at what's new, what isn't new, powertrain options, horsepower, torque, all that sort of thing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So starting on the outside, they went ahead and redesigned obviously the entire truck, all new body lines, and they gave the front this really bold front end. So it's got a much more squared off headlight design, reminiscent on the newer generation of the Nissan Titan. You've got these really cool air vents. Well, they're fake air vents that go down the side. This one is the SV, so it is not the fully loaded. It is more of a mid to just above mid trim on the Frontier. One thing though that's really cool to see is that right on the front of the truck you do have the tow recovery hooks. Not every vehicle in this class, to my knowledge, goes and puts those on, so that's really nice to see if you are going to be taking it off-road in the future. Moving up to the grille area, it's nice, big, bold, and looks really clean. Very straight and boxy look from side to side. You've got this mesh sort of look, almost like a chain link fence kind of in the front, giving it a little bit of a stylish flair with this little bit of a gray metallic sort of finish to the paint. Then you've got Frontier printed big, bold, and proud right on the middle of the hood. Moving up onto the hood itself, you've got a really cool, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like this multi-layered, almost like a hood cowl, but not quite, because obviously it's just one piece, but it looks really, really cool, and I'm really glad that they went with that. Looking at the side profile here, you can see that it looks a lot like the older generation. If you kind of take the front end off, really doesn't look like it's all that much different. But it does have much more defined body lines. It's much less round. You are going to be getting a 17-inch alloy wheel on this one, and for anyone who is wondering, they are a 265 on the width, 65 series sidewall. It's not the four-wheel drive off-road package, so don't expect any sort of heavier duty suspension or skid plates or anything like that. Looking at the back of the truck, they also went with a very similar design to what you found on the front, where you've got Frontier stamped big and bold right there in the back of the tailgate. You've seen this on some other trucks like the Tundra. Ram has a couple of those that are like that. I believe Ford also has a tendency to stamp that right there in the back. I believe this is the new Nissan logo. I've seen it on a couple of the trucks. They've now got this white kind of inlet in the middle there. I don't know if it's going to come across very well on the camera, but you can kind of see where it's at. One thing that I like that they did, and you can let me know down in the comments if they've had this before, because it's not something that I am specifically aware of, but they do now have a soft open tailgate. Looking in the back of it, it's this is the double cab, or the king cab, I believe is what they call it. So you've got the shorter 5-foot bed, and it's actually a pretty good size. Very comparable to other trucks in this segment. I don't know if it's the steel that they use in the back compared to some other ones, but this looks deceptively really big. It does look like the tailgate comes off fairly easily with a couple of release hooks there, and you've got your wiring to disconnect for the rear backup camera, which we'll show you when we get to the inside portion of this video. You've got plenty of tie downs. Got one right there, got another one in the back, and then same thing on the other side. Otherwise, it's fairly usable. The only thing that I don't like particularly about this one is it doesn't have the rails to actually go, on the edge there, which is something that you'll see on a lot of pickup trucks in this segment. Would have been nice to see on this one, especially for a almost $36,000 vehicle, but it is what it is. Notice that the mud flaps have Frontier stamped on them, so that's a cool little Easter egg. So like I said before, this is the SV model, so it is going to be cloth seats. You do have a power adjusting driver's seat. The only thing that sucks is there's no lumbar support, and the front of the seat doesn't actually come up. You've got the textured plastic steering wheel with all of your standard safety stuff, at least from the passive side. The only piece of active safety equipment that I was able to find on this particular truck was the forward collision warning. So that's something that you'll be able to pretty much just turn on and off within the settings on the fairly large multi-information display. But let's go ahead, turn the truck around, and see what it's got on the inside. What's going on, everyone? So we're going to be taking a look at the interior of the all-new 2022 Nissan Frontier. So they went ahead and did a full redesign, as you're probably aware if you've clicked on the video, but got a really nice interior going on. All of your temperature and fan speed controls are here. You've got a 12-volt socket right there, USB Type-C, as well as a regular USB for your Android Auto and Apple CarPlay compatibility. You've got the electronic on-the-fly four-wheel drive system down here, two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, as well as a 4-low. None of the other off-road goodies, so there's no locking rear differential or anything like that, so just keep that in mind. Moving to the middle, you've got your regular automatic gear selector. Nice, decent feel. You've got this brushed aluminum on the surround for it. A nice leatherette. It's not real leather, but a leatherette on the shift boot. The cup holders have this really cool like hourglass shape, so I feel like that's going to be really good if you're putting a mug or something in here with a handle, so that way it doesn't, you actually have somewhere to put it. Up on the dash, it's all like plastic, but it has a really cool texture to it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it on camera. You do have also this white stitching to make it look a little bit more premium. Regular, air vents, nothing super crazy there. Got a nice little pocket up here. I don't really know what you would use it for. You can let me know down below in the comments section. Moving over to the steering wheel, you've got all your standard controls. So cruise control on the right hand side, you've got all of your multi-information display, toggle switches, your volume, voice commands, phone calls, all that stuff. On the door, power windows all the way around, automatic one touch up and down on the driver's window only, electronic thing for your mirrors. It does have a tow mode, but this particular truck does not actually have a trailer hitch. It is just a bumper tow, so that's something to keep in mind with the new Frontier. Got to make sure it's got a tow hitch. Then you've got some other controls for your traction control, your cargo lamp in the bed, that sort of stuff. I'll try to get the profile here, but they've got this really cool dip effect. It kind of reminds me of an F-150. I'm not exactly sure why they did that. You guys can let me know down in the comments. You've got good size door pockets down there, big enough for a really big bottle of Life water and a couple of snacks maybe. You've got your window locks, door locks, all that cool stuff. I believe this is one of the speakers. Actually, no, it's not. It's just a cool inlet on the door. This is the same sort of brushed stainless look that you've got on the center. And in the middle, I don't know if you'll be able to catch it on camera, but it is kind of like carbon fiber. I highly doubt that it's actual carbon fiber, but nonetheless, it's still there. Moving into the back seat, good amount of space. Not, you know, not incredible, but good amount of space nonetheless. Similar design characteristic, pretty small windows, manual adjusting window in the back, which is kind of a bummer for 37,000 bucks, which is what this truck comes in at. Floor mats, that middle piece comes down and you'll see a couple cup holders in there. And then if you're trying to be, here, let me get in the back and show you. So this driver's seat is exactly where I would have it if I were to be driving this truck. And then let me just show you how little space there is when you get in the back. So on myself, and hope you guys can see this. I'm pretty squished. My head's touching the ceiling. I've got, this is like hitting on my back. This would be a very miserable place to be for really any length of time, unless I was sitting behind someone much shorter. Overall comfort of the seats is adequate. I mean, it's nothing to like write home about, but it's okay. Not really for big people or adults. But let's jump back in the front. I went to get out of the back. The child safety locks were on both sides. Rip. Real quick, before we wrap this one up, I'll just go ahead and shut the doors so that way you guys can see what the door sounds like. Pretty good. It's a soft touch, not soft touch, like a soft close almost. Feels really secure. Even the door opening doesn't feel like super tinny, as sometimes that can happen. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.